Sometimes it's kind of uncomfortable coming before you and continuously saying things to you wi- without actually delving into a specific truth. The truth is coming. Sometimes you want to make sure that the timing is right, that the message that has been given prior has been received and understood and set up for new additional information that may be giving information ahead of understanding could probably throw things out of whack. But the truth of the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when you think about what's going on in the United States of America, as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, the only thing that I could suggest based upon what I see happening in America is that the American people rise up. They stand up for one another and they make sure that they recall Donald J. Trump as president of the United States in a statement saying that the hatred, the racism, the bigotry that he excites in this nation is nothing that we choose to be a part of. And we don't want him as president of the United States and give him a pass to move on. Now, this isn't rude. You say something that to a man, you got to be able to offer something to the people because the people are backing such a statement. So what do you give to the people? You give to the people everything that allows them to experience their life. That means basically that anything that is taken from them is given back, and that any association is one that is agreed upon, that the people do the things together, understanding what they are out to achieve and recognizing the importance that each play in that achieving. In other words, they are cooperating together, everybody involved, recognizing that all of the resources, everything outside of we the people, everything outside of we the people has been given to us free. Let me say that again. In the weight of life, everything that is required in that process outside of ourselves has been provided for us free. Everything. The air we breathe, the body we live in, the earth we live on, the resources that are available, the intelligence to use them. Oh, my friend. And how do we do it? We make the decision that everything and everyone is important. And each of us look out, find our place, and engage ourselves and cause a manifestation of what we perceive as paradise on earth or heaven on earth. And it's experienced by everyone. Everyone. Peace. Watch another video to hear what, because I just say it all the time. I'm saying peace, prosperity, freedom, joy, and happiness, and satisfaction, living your dreams. Needs, wants, and desires being met, suffering for nothing. Because you're making everything in abundance. And everybody's working, nobody's suffering for a lack of anything. And we don't need any in-between people talking about let's use money. No, our payment is loving what we're doing and being blessed by the power that we can't see with joy. And that is the motivation that we need to keep knowing that we are working for a power that's much greater than democracy or capitalism or communism or socialism or any isms. We're working for a power that is connected what we are on this earth about with joy. And it allows us to, in our individual lives to participate in actually causing a manifestation of that power, that wonderful love of God through us to one another for the implementation of a higher plan that God has that none of us perhaps know anything about. So I'm just saying that you got a choice. You've always had a choice, but I know I hadn't heard too much about it. I want to remind us, though, that for many of us who called ourselves Christians, we're not, but you called yourselves, you looked at Jesus Christ and they told you something in the book about what it means to follow Jesus. Well, what it really means is that Jesus Christ was letting you know the key. He was familiarizing you with the key. The key. He was familiarizing you with the key to life. We didn't get that. And this is probably, well, I'm sure you've heard it before. Um, yeah, I remember that they said Jesus was 33. I'm just starting with Jesus because I know too many of us don't go back beyond that. And we got Malcolm X, who stood for the same thing Jesus stood for, 39. Look at Dr. King, stood for the same thing that Jesus stood for. 39. And what did Jesus stand for? Jesus, he stood for what that invisible power was for, letting us know that that same power that Jesus had, each of us got that same power. And each of us have a responsibility and came here to do something. And some of the things that we do will be much recognizable and more beneficial for what God's plan is for the human race than that which he gave. Man, but we don't even know that. So we're hindered and we really do nothing. We're like dry bones, just dead, waiting around. Just waiting around. But when you get hooked up to that truth, yes, my friends, that is the reason. That is the purpose. Now you're not needing no in between people. It's just free. And to me, that's what the world is all about. I've accepted it. That's what it's all about. But I didn't always know this. I was brought up in another language. I was brought up, taught something else. But I watched what I was involved in. I watched the life that was being experienced. And I had a hope for something better. I'm looking for something better, searching for something better. And as I got a chance to pay all of these years, I like much past Dr. King, Malcolm X, I'm still just like the rest of us, just aging, waiting for the moment when I can wake up, waiting for that moment when I can wake up, waiting for that moment when nothing is fearful. I'm just bold enough to stand up for truth and welcoming any outcome. Yeah, well, I guess that's what we're all waiting for, and we haven't gotten there yet. But just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you, in case you don't know it, had we made a difference in the world as we age, the doctors and the information that would have been sent to this nation from the power, we would have been able to conquer a lot of these sicknesses and diseases. But we weren't able to do that because we were blindsided with something else. And since we missed that, we gonna keep on living like I'm still here, trying this and trying that. But how we doing? Gonna tell me how we doing. And so who knows, in a moment or whatever, I might just pass out or go through some of these long sicknesses, hollering and screaming, praying to God take my life. You know, many of us know people, our relatives who've gone through that kind of stuff. And we sit back and hope that God would just take them. Not that we don't love them, but we just don't want them to go through the pain and suffering. And they don't mind going away now because they're tired of the pain and suffering too. Unless they're going to be recovered, then they're ready to go. So, you know, just think about if we could wake up before we get to that point and do the right thing, then we can prepare for the storm. We can prepare for those things that we know will happen, and we will be prepared. But see, that's what it's all about. We change and stop listening to liars and another person telling this lie and somebody trying to erase history and somebody trying to just say we don't want any of that kind of story to be told. All we want to do is lift up. Don't tell that part that was raggedy. Just do the lifting up part as if raggedy never existed. And when raggedy keep on existing, because you haven't done a thing to change, wherever you're trying to put up, the next thing you're going to see is raggedness. Come on, people. Come on. Y'all make me think. Sometimes I feel like I'm smart, and you know I'm no smarter than you. But I can see this, and I'm sure you can as well. So it is time for us to stand up. We got to get rid of that kind of stuff. And just talking about it, we know ain't no new talking. It's just refurbished talking. We got to stand up and make a move. And we can't let these days be passing while we're still talking. We got to make it, let the move be made. Just like these other nations have taught us. We got to get up on our feet. We got to stand up and say no more. And the great thing about it is that we have an opportunity to do something absolutely fantastic. So I say, let's do it.